AITAH for potentially breaking up my aunt's marriage. This is difficult to explain, and things are still hard. I 17M lost my parents last year, and I'm still going through lots of counseling, especially since I felt so much rage at the other driver that T-boned them driving recklessly with his phone out texting. My mother had siblings out of state, and her parents, my maternal grandparents, that lived an hour away. I am extremely close to the entire maternal side of my family, and they have been awesome giving emotional support this entire time, even from far away. It turns out my father has a sister, my Aunt Judy 42F, who lives in town but has been estranged from my father's side of the family for years, for reasons I didn't understand yet. My father's wishes haven't been updated since whatever falling out happened, and my Aunt Judy was listed as the preferred person to be my guardian. She lived in town, and it would mean I could stay in school where I grew up. She seemed really eager as well. She was married to Gary, 40M, who was an alright guy, and worked at a counseling office, and even helped get me a referral to an awesome counselor who has helped me work through a lot of stuff. The problem is Judy is a control freak. I show up and she instantly said that I needed to drop all my father's bad teachings. She tried to put me on an insane diet the second my foot entered the door. Gary got her to back off on the insane diet stuff, but it never ended. She kept bad-mouthing my parents about how my dad, her brother, raised me wrong. It was actually close to torture, and Gary did his best to make her back off, but whenever he was gone she would go right back and try to parent me again. The final straw for me was when we went to my parents. We got weekly to clean stuff up, keep the house maintained. I guess now my house and Aunt Judy made comments that she would like to destroy some of my dad's things. I instantly saw red and told her she has no right. She tried to lord over that as my only parent. She had every right to make me not turn out like her brother. I called my grandparents and bless them, they put the fear of God into her. She backed off, and I have been living at my family home again with my grandmother ever since, with my grandfather stopping in every weekend. I've kept in contact with Gary, who has been awesome the whole time, but Aunt Judy has made no attempt to talk to me again. I found out that Gary has started the divorce process, and our visits have become less frequent, even though Gary has continued to offer support. I talked to Gary about this mess, and he admitted to me that if not for me being in the mix, he would have never known about how badly Aunt Judy would have acted with kids in the mix. He then said it was not my fault, and it was never my fault. He was actually grateful to know me, and that I am a fine young man. Still, despite Gary's words, I can't help but feel responsible for being dumped into their lives, Aunt Judy's words, and disrupting their marriage by causing strife. I feel awful being even an indirect cause of their divorce, and wonder if I could have just tolerated Aunt Judy's behavior until I graduated high school. Top comments. Commenter 1, NTA. She was estranged for a reason, and she made that abundantly clear to you and Gary. I'm so sorry for your loss. I'm glad you're in therapy. Commenter 2, NTA. Your aunt added more trouble to your life when what you needed was stability and affection. You didn't break up their marriage. It turns out their marriage was based on a lie, that Judy appeared to be a decent human being, and Gary is now correcting that. Judy destroyed her own marriage, and unfortunately you had to witness it. It sounds like Gary is a good guy though. I hope you can keep him in your life. More supportive and caring people always welcome. Commenter 3, NTA. Your Aunt Judy's behavior was responsible for their divorce period. In fact, sounds like Gary is a great guy and you may have saved him from living the rest of his life with a very demented and controlling person. I'm guessing some of the problems were there long before you arrived, and obviously they remained after you left. Because if the problem was just you being there, there would be no reason for the divorce, right? Gary sounds awesome, and he probably just wants to be happy and with someone who isn't a monster. So instead of worrying about if you broke them up, think of it more that you've opened up Gary's life to good humans. I'm sure his life will be better off for it. Update: someone sent me a private message with a link to what was supposedly my aunt's post from months ago. It was deleted, but from the comments it mentioned things that did happen. Like my aunt's die-hard vegan diet and my father's gun safe. Last night I contacted Aunt Judy for the last time. She sounded like she's been angry 24/7 and didn't know how to stop being angry. She blamed me for her marriage's collapse. She blamed my father, her brother, for being a little shit. She cursed out her dead father, my grandpa, for raising us wrong. She blamed Gary for not backing her up. She even cursed out my mother and her parents for raising a little psycho me, I guess. I have no memory of this woman until I moved in with her half a year ago. I was told she was around a lot before I was 5, but I literally can't remember a thing about her. Now I'm glad my only exposure to her is only half a year. I told her I wish she would be happy instead of angry, and that just got her screaming some more until I hung up. I will never talk to her again. Top comments. Commenter 1, NTA. You are not at fault for your aunt's marriage breaking. She did that all by herself. Your Uncle Gary has said confirmed that. How low does someone stoop to be that vile on the departed? Sad part is that she will probably never learn. Commenter 2, oh, you are definitely not the one at fault for the marriage going down the drain. Your aunt is a miserable and abusive control freak, and Gary probably just didn't see anymore how bad she actually was because it slowly turned this bad. So when you were brought to them, and he saw the sudden rules imposed on you, he realized what a horrible human being she was. You, in essence, saved him from a miserable life. Now he'll be free to find a lovely, sane woman. Update 2. Last week I got off the phone with my, I guess no longer Uncle Gary. His divorce terms with Aunt Judy has been finalized, and now they have to wait out a clock or something like that. Last night Aunt Judy showed up and dumped a garbage bag of items I left at her place, like the hot plate and skillet. The hot plate smashed and the skillet mostly unharmed. We didn't talk, and my grandma wants to get stuff like legal guardianship and a restraining order in place, but we only have about a year to wait until I turn 18. Despite the dumping of the trash bag, my Aunt Judy has stayed far away and seems fearful of my maternal grandparents. Overall, I'm doing better, and I'm not seeing the therapist as much, and I'm trying to figure out where I should go next in life. Top comments. Commenter 1. Sounds like you're handling this way better than most would. Aunt Judy's behavior says a lot more about her than it does about you. Props to your grandparents for having your back. You're almost at 18. Keep pushing through. Commenter 2. I am very sorry for your loss. Be sure of a few things. While your being in the home may have opened Gary's eyes to his wife's behavior, you are in no way responsible for their split, and you may have done him a favor. Immediately after your parents' death is no time to introduce you to new things, especially if that means bad-mouthing your parents. There is nothing wrong with a vegan diet for people who want to follow a vegan diet. It is healthy and good for the environment. Forcing this diet on you when everything else in your life was changing was just stupid. It's good to hear your grandparents are helping you. Commenter 3. NTA, you didn't blow up their marriage. You helped Gary probably more than you know. Chances are he overlooked things she did because they didn't affect anyone else. With you, he could no longer overlook them and had to open his eyes. He sounds like he may want children one day, so you essentially also saved those children from having a mother like her. You didn't blow anything up, you saved several people, including your Uncle Gary, who helped save you.